Hello, hello. One too many here, and I'm going to be doing a pub stomp. Right here, let me borrow that link real quick. A pub stomp cast of a Marine Arena game. This is a public game, so all these people are chosen at random. There's no ranking at all, so normally lots of fun ensues. Now, in this particular game, I'm going to be trying to go a early Lancer transition, which means I'm going to try and get my Lancer at 5 minutes. Or as close to it as possible. And for that reason, I started with Lings. Now, I started this video at about the 3-minute mark, and the reason I did that is because there isn't much action up until the 3-minute mark. Look at this guy. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to savior him. I don't want to waste all my units here. This is a perfect savior, actually. There he goes. Look at all that money. That's perfect. Awesome. So now I'm definitely going to be able to get my Lancers at 5 minutes, and that's perfect because I'm going to be able to mass them, and that's exactly what you want to do with Lancer. You want to get them as early as possible and then mass them up until the 10-minute mark. Look at that guy. He actually left. He was very unhappy with that savior. But that's also why you do not want to move onto someone's ledge like that so early game. It's lagging pretty bad. Hopefully this dies down as these people stop moving around or something. Someone needs to turn down their settings. Move back here. All right, and the 5 minutes has started, so I'm going to go ahead and get my Lancer. Or our Stalker right now. Eventually they will morph into Lancer. The reason I'm doing this is I'm getting them so early because I do want them to mass up. And once the 10-minute mark hits, I'll pull them out. But until then, I'm not going to really use them because the Lancer morph is so much stronger than the Stalker morph. There's no reason not to wait. And that's going to really help me come 10 minutes because I'm going to be able to move out with a huge mass of units. So you can see I already have some Lings burrowed around. I lost my tower, unfortunately, but I'm going to go get that right now because that guy left. And they're pushing us real hard, which is actually exactly what I like to see. I hate the games when people just never move out of their base for whatever reason, because that means I have to really hunt for the kills, or like when people are fighting in their mid areas a lot. That really sucks too. So I really like to get that early game lead, which is exactly what you see now. I'm one of the kill leaders. I don't know what exactly is going on with Tombs. He might be an issue. Hopefully this is a real easy game. Typically they are. So I got my tower back. I unburrow this. Didn't want him to die. You can see I also have some Lings burrowed up here right on the vision, and that's just so in case I do lose the vision, my ally or I can just kind of walk up here along this area and recapture it. So my ally also lost his vision, and for those of you who don't know, my ally is Bless the Fall right here. He is a friend. He's actually on Skype. He can hear everything, but he went ahead and muted himself because he likes to be a little bit of a troll, so he's doing us all a favor, I guess. I don't know. You can say hi in chat or something, Bless, if you want. There he is with the sup. All caps, of course, as all good players do. We live in caps. Alright, so I got his tower now. And again, I'm just waiting until the 10-minute mark. It's nothing too fun here. I might go help my ally a little bit, and I'm just using my Marines and what few Zerglings I have left over. And again, the reason I chose Zergling is because they only cost 150 minerals, which makes them real good transition merc, because it let me save that extra 100 minerals that I would have had to spend on a different mercenary, and that helped me get my Stalker right at the 5-minute mark. And see, you can see someone also has, let me get out of this, someone also has some Lings buried right underneath our stuff. And we want to kind of kill those so they don't have our vision, so they don't know when we're moving out, and that might be one of the reasons why we're getting so much attention right here. Either way, this is all good. I'm not too worried about any of it. Oh, look at all those zealots. We still have 3 saviors between all of us, and I would actually like to use one of them. So if these guys come in here, that would be perfect. But see, they're staying a decent distance, so we can't just get an easy savior off on them. Let's see if they push in again. Nope. See, they don't want to get too close because they know I want to savior them. So I've already got my Stalkers. Look at this mass I've got going. This is going to be real good come the 10-minute mark, and I've already got 500 minerals up there, so I'll be able to easily morph those and probably get my blink also. A lot of people like to get other upgrades or avoid blink in general, but I feel like it's just such a powerful ability. It allows me to really be able to deal with any maybe early hero harass or melee. I can just kind of peel blink back. And again, I'm not the best player either, so you'll notice I will make micro mistakes, but this is just really common of a custom game. I wouldn't expect anyone to be super serious about this, because this isn't ladder, this isn't ranked, like I said in the beginning, and you just get players of ranging skills. Alright, it's getting kind of boring now waiting, but it's important to show this. A lot of people, they'll get their Stalkers and they'll use them real early, which I guess helps you a little bit in the early game, but you'll see just how strong having this many stalkers right at the 10-minute mark can be. And here we go. I'm going to morph them, and oh, I do have enough for blink, which is perfect, so I'll get that. Watch me just move out into mid. And stalkers under the new counter system are really good against Maraiders, so I really hope that we do see some Marauder players. Yep, right here. This guy's got Maraiders, and that's probably also why he has such a good lead early on. So this is also a build that kind of helps counter the metagame. So watch what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to blink all my guys on top of him. Why not? See what happened? He just totally lost. All his guys are dead, and they're trying to come up around here now. I'm just going to move up. Now, as a Lancer under this new counter system, the unit I want to avoid most is Goliath. Goliath is going to be my hard counter. Alright, so we got some tanklings here. See, I'm just going to blink back. And I get a decent on them, and they got some Marines up there. I'm not too worried about it. In the meantime, I don't even have to watch that battle too much. I'm just going to get my merc training upgrades. You can purchase those at the merc base. I want to spread my guys out a little bit more. Try and make sure I maintain a good concave and I don't get stuck in a concave myself, but like I said, I'm not too worried about it. Alright, so I can see top right has destroyers now, and that's going to be a soft counter to my Lancers, I'm pretty sure. Let's check what their damage is. They have a damage focus on mechanical, yep, and I am in fact mechanical. I was in a bad position there, so I can just blink out, save my guys, don't have to worry about too much. Looks like my ally also has destroyers, so that'll be kind of a wash. Now if you see destroyers, the counter destroyer is Brutalisk. I got all these guys. These are temple lots. That's actually pretty bad. Link back again. I lost a lot of guys, but these guys spawn pretty fast, so I'm not too worried about it. So I'm able to get my second training upgrade. I'm not exactly sure what the best tech path is for Lancers just yet. There were a lot of changes recently, so it's hard to tell, but in general I like to get the training upgrades because they give my units range and all that stuff. This is just food, so I just blink on top of it. See, I'm not even microing that hard, I'd say. I'm just blinking here and there. It's real nice, and I really want to stay on top of these Maraiders. You can see my kills quickly caught up to theirs, and that was because of that early mass I had, and I was able to maintain pressure. Let's see, another thing that you really want to try and do, because you do have blink, and that's a very powerful ability, is control the towers. So I can just kind of scan up here. I can see there's some more lings down there, and then I can just blink a guy up there. Look, now I have the tower. It's real nice. And you just want to keep that harass up, and that'll keep them kind of blind out of the blue. And he's starting to send a few guys up there, but I will just blink another guy up there. No big deal. Still have the tower. And, yep, there we go. I do want to avoid getting flanked, of course, so I'll just blink out of that. He's trying to get a surround on me, but I blink. Oh, there's a few Banelings in there, which is kind of funny. I might actually end up losing this little bit right here. It's not too big a deal. You can see I have the kill lead at this point. I'm actually doing pretty good damage to them, and I want to stay on top of my upgrades, so I will get my last training upgrade right here. So at this point I have all my training upgrades. I just kind of lost my mass in mid. I got a little out of position, and that allowed them to get the full surround. So now I'm just going to bring a few Marines with me, and I'm going to do that to maintain mass. Normally, if I wouldn't have lost all those, I would have just tried to use Stalkers in the beginning, because Marines are kind of feed this early in the game, and I don't want to overpower or power up anybody else by just feeding them my Marines. And this is actually a great improvement from some of the patches that, or the last, before this patch, when Cracklings were just running rampant through the game. And you can see, like, nobody even went Cracklings. We actually had a Tankling player up there, which is good. Good in a sense. I mean, some Cracklings are good, but what was happening before was just too much. Now, I'm not totally sure how long this video is going to go. I was mainly just trying to cover how to get your Stalkers early on and what's important as far as upgrades to get, and you saw me get that Blinker early, and then my training upgrades. The most important thing, though, is start Lings, and then get your Stalkers as close to 5 minutes as possible, and then wait until 10 minutes to morph them into Lancer. And that's really the advantage of all of the tier 2 mercs in general. So you'd want to do the same thing with Fire Bats, with Brutalisk, or I mean Hydralisk, and also Roaches. You want to get them as early as possible, and my ally's kind of dancing right here. See, now imagine if he was in chat, he would just be chatting it up. Either way. But yeah, so you want to, with all tier 2 mercs, you want to really get them as early as possible as you can within the first 10 minutes, and then mass them, and that's your biggest advantage. So as this game goes on, I'm not sure when I'm going to end it or how long it's going to be. I'm probably going to cut it off around the 18-minute mark because I can't go over 15 minutes for these videos. But I'll try and maybe include some clips of what ends up happening late game, because it looks like this is actually going to be a pretty interesting game. And see, I get surrounded here a little bit again, so I'll just blink my guys. gonna let them get my Marines. It's not a big deal. And what I did there is I had my Marines in my control group with my Lancers. So what happens is the Marine tab is what's up first. So instead of just double clicking my Lancers, what I did was I tab clicked my Stalkers. So I had my whole group and I just pressed tab once. And that allowed me to be able to blink. And I'm going to blink again. Get out of there with the few guys I have left. And that's something I'm going to want to pay attention to as the game goes on. Just watching out for those flanks. It's something that's probably happening more so because I'm trying to talk while I do all this. Either way, I'm gonna cut it off here, and then I'll include some clips of what happens later in the game. Maybe include what transitions had to happen and if I win or lose. So I'll see you in a few minutes. As the game progressed, me and my ally were able to stay ahead by focusing in on two things. One is finding the feed, and the other one is upgrade efficiency. Now, first, as far as finding the feed goes, typically in almost every game, there's someone that is just not up to par with the rest of the players on the map. Sometimes there's actually more than one person or entire team this way. And those players are considered, or what I would call feed. And those are the ones that you really want to try and focus in on. There's that text message. Those are the ones that you really want to try and focus in on in terms of attacking and aggressing. Because they are going to give you the most minerals for the least amount of units spent. Whereas if you were to focus in on maybe a stronger opponent or something like that, you have to use more of your units in order to get those same amount of minerals because they're more aggressive, they're more teched, if that makes any sense. So you want to go after the weaker players on the map, typically. Also, the second thing that we really focused in on was upgrade efficiency. Now, normally there's an upgrade path in every game, and you want to basically what you want to do is you want to get your mercenary, you want to get maybe an ability that they have that's really strong, you want to get their training upgrades, and then you want to get those 6 mercenary upgrades. And our opponents this game weren't really upgrading very efficiently in terms of, like, for example, the destroyer player on the opposite team had 7 attack upgrades. He didn't get any health upgrades within this time. He was just pumping into attack. Now, the upgrades are designed so that whatever's typically cheapest is best. So, for example, you want to get a few attack upgrades, and then you want to get your first health upgrade. You don't want to just go pure attack or pure health or pure defense. And then also, they were teching too far and not getting their merc spawn upgrades, which is a very, very powerful upgrade. Now, if you're playing kind of standard right now with the way the game is, you want to get your training upgrades, you want to get your spawn upgrade, and then you want to start teching Marines. And these players weren't really going in that efficient order of tech, and that really helped us not only once we got the lead from the feed, keep the lead, and that helped us also push them. And once we isolated the teams 2 and teams 4 and they were gone, we were able to box team 3 into a turtle situation and eventually force the GG. Now, I hope you guys like this video. If you do, let me know in the comments below. If you guys want to see anything else in particular, maybe a different unit type or something like that, also let me know in the comments. And I hope you like this. This is OTM. Here's that text message again. I will see you guys next time.